We back this time with full auto Nervier, and personally, I have not missed this boss at all. Rochi may be the queen of worst bosses, but Nervier is definitely the princess. This is by far the most aggravating boss to deal with, in my opinion. Every time you think you're safe to ult, nope, 3 defenders drop out of the sky to block it. The minimum score to get to is 12k, and we will do our best to reach that. I've got 2 setups to show, a budget team made up of farmable units, banner units, and units available through the new player selector, and an invested team for those with more resources. Let me show you what I got. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and deploy a Hilde, Linjian, and Hansorm. Hansorm's amazing for this fight. Her leader ability makes pretty much that tower obsolete. It allows us not to get blinded, so all of our units can actually do damage. Well, at least the ones that stay inside of her aura, which for the most part is the majority of our DPS. Now, I'm using Chorus as the ship because we can't really line anything up as far as death breaks, ultimates, and things like that for damage. So we're just going to use a general ship. Kami can replace this ship. You could also use, you could pretty much use anything. Detroit, Enterprise, any of those ships work with this. Blue Bridge, one of my personal favorites. But we're going to go ahead and deploy a couple Rangers so we can sit here and take care of these defenders, and then deploy as many strikers as we can to do damage. And the beautiful part about having Reactor A Mina and A Hilde is that they're really hard to kill. This boss is going to have a hard time dealing with them. Now, unfortunately, they do get knocked back, but A Mina has immortality, so she can stay in front of that boss for quite some time. A Hilde as well has her shields. Now, unfortunately, there's not much we can do about the HP degen for a Mina, but she's going to get redeployed, and we have the rest of our team chilling here. We got Jane up in the front. She does have high evasion, so it's going to be hard for her to take too much damage. And then she's also going to get her enhanced attacks in, so this is great as well. And of course, since we were running Linjian, we're going to be able to sit there and generate enough DP to be able to deploy a Mina and a Hilde as many times as we need for this fight. And as you see, we have already entered immortality again, but it doesn't matter. And we honestly had a lot of time for that. We did not. We could have actually gone with less gear. The budget team, we're running Chorus as the ship and Kim Hana as the operator. For Linjian, we are running CDR as the set. We want to use her ultimate as much as we can. For Hilde, we're also running CDR. We want her to be able to have her shield up as much as possible so she doesn't get knocked back. Hansorm, we want to stack as much anti-ground and anti-ranger as we can afford. Shadow Hall gear works here. Janatsu, we want a tanky CDR so that we can use our ultimate and heals as much as possible. Rivet, we also want on anti-ranger, anti-ground. Again, Shadow Hall is a great set for this fight. And then Jane Doe, we want to stack, again, anti-ground, anti-ranger. Melee damage works if you have that. Same for you, Mina. We do want probably Blaze or an attack speed set, but anti-ranger attack, all of that works here. Stacking anti-ranger and anti-ground damage. And then the same is going to be for Ifrit, anti-ground and anti-ranger. But what does everybody love? We all love RNG. RNG is our friend. We just can't get enough of it. So as a disclaimer, this fight is heavily influenced by RNG. Hits, crits, misses, all of that applies. Same goes for Nayeli. Now, We are using Solovi, so we do get some surefire, but it only affects rangers and snipers. And unfortunately, well, we only run 2 rangers here, so then not very helpful. But for dealing with that tower, it's probably the best thing we got right now. Now, like I was sitting there saying, the RNG does heavily influence this. How fast we push, how much damage we take, things like that. Nayeli does have the chance of dying. He does also have the chance of being absolutely amazing and taking like no damage. It just really depends on whether or not those defender ads want to hit her or not. The same can be said about how quickly we push the boss. That tower is honestly just annoying to no end. And the fact that Mavka can't touch it is criminal, honestly. She's an air unit. She should be able to attack air units. This is ridiculous. It's sitting right in front of her and she doesn't hit it. But it's fine. With our few seconds of surefire, Solovi does do a pretty decent job. And the true damage from Surya can also deal with it too. But we need to get close enough to this boss that we can do enough damage, and then Mavka will just absolutely annihilate it before any of the ground units spawn. Unfortunately, Degen doesn't stop when the fight's over, so a nice little 40k. Take us off into this season. For the invested team, we are running Quad as a ship, Asha as the operator. Linjian we have on our best tanky CDR gear. We need our ulti as soon as possible. Shinatsu the same. We want tanky CDR. We want her to ultimate and use her special, get the healing going. Nayeli is a little different. We are running a hybrid set of incoming healing. We need 50% crit damage res, but outside of that, we want to stack as much incoming healing as we can. She only needs 33% ground res at 120 to reach at 1 cap. Solovi, we're just running a death pin set on her. And then Mavka as well, we're running a death pin set on hers. Additionally, Surya, we're going with our ultimate amp set here. And then for Jushin, we're doing melee damage, but really he's just going in and countering the special. And then for Yang, we're going with a tanky CDR set as well. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you get the minimum score this season. And hey, at least it's not counter HP Degen. Again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can join the Mage Institute by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord, link is in the description, and if you want to help support this channel, there's a link in the description for that too. As always, I will see you all next time.